Yo, Adam Schefter's tweets have been really bad randomly sometimes.
What?
It just says, 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Stephon Gilmore has reached an agreement in principle on a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million, including $7 million guaranteed. The deal was negotiated and confirmed by Gilmore's agent. Anything missing from that?
That's some hot NFL goss.
Anything missing from that? It doesn't say with who.
Just the meat.
It just says he made a deal. With who? We have no fucking clue. Like...
Yeah, but it's first. I love it's such an industry thing because like people really care about it. Like in the industry, like who broke the story? No, who broke it? No, I got to see on the bottom line who broke it. Like it's such a big deal. Like whenever you hear sports guys talk to each other, like people in the business, like whether it's Barstool, ESPN, like I'll listen to podcasts and be like, "Well, we had the story first. We broke it," and it's like nobody cares.
No, the public definitely doesn't care about that. And well. With social media brain now, you can be as wrong as you fucking want. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It just break it first. So I don't understand why we're just not slinging stuff and hoping something sticks. Like, I mean, the kind of like the concept of, I don't remember who said this, but I know help me out with me paraphrasing some sort of quote by someone I don't know. Like, what was it? Reports of my death were grossly exaggerated. Like something like, because just recently an ex-wrestler, one of the Wild Samoans, as we know, Afa, was reported as dead. And then like 6 hours later, people were like, oh, he's not dead. He's just not doing well. And then yesterday, allegedly, he died. So we took a second chance at it. But like that happens a lot where celebrities are like, all right, yo, this person's dead. And, like, I imagine that they're, like, at home. I was going to say doom scrolling, but that's a real doom scrolling. But they're, like, home and just going through their phone, not feeling great. And then they see reports of their death. And I wonder if they're like, oh, my God, did I die? Like, did I pass away last night and I'm actually dead right now? Like, that might be a pretty intense experience that people have.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from here.
You'd start the theme and think about it.
Well, you'd expect nothing less from the fifth fastest growing. Dude, help me out here. I gotta wake up.
Right.
I've confused my priorities. Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this.
I was making up some kind of stat about our podcast that nobody will ever fact check.
Jesus.
Do you think we're one of the top 5 podcasts that emanates from Central New York? That could be. Probably not.
Could be.
Because probably like the news station has a morning weather podcast.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Podcast for podcast's sake. Non-secondary to another form of media, because that doesn't count.
Okay.
But yeah,
that makes me feel
with
good.
With confidence, to answer your question. Top 5.
Are we the fastest growing Central New York / Philadelphia metro region combined podcast?
You figure what the plan is to meet in the middle, somewhere around Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, the greater Scranton area. That's our target. That's where our radii are gonna combine.
Look out, Southern Tier.
Yep, coming for you, fam.
Trying to get Central New York and Philly on top of each other.
69, dudes!
Yes. Sound effects are on. Let's go.
Wow.
We're hot and ready.
God.
What is Sunday? Remember how we were like, Sunday mornings are great. This is a great time to record. I don't know why. I'm such a funk today. Why? Is this what it's like Monday to Fridays? Like Sundays, you really just turn it off. Like Saturday, you like have the day off, try to do some shit, and Sunday, you're just like, fuck it. Nothing productive. Brain shutting down. Maybe I'll run an errand, but other than that, not for me. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to rest my body, as the Lord said.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a busy week. I had to take some days off this week, Jeff.
Okay.
Some vacation days. One of them on Thursday, I took a half day to go to a charity thing
Well,
at a
that's not how
winery.
vacation works, but go on.
It isn't. It's not a vacation. But it was pretty fun. And the only thing I'll say about this is there's a girl who works for a charity, and I've seen her speak a few times. And I kind of feel bad for, I don't know what her exact role is in this charity, and I don't want to blow her up or anything like that, but she's not a great speaker.
Okay.
And she always has like her messages on a piece of paper, but what the paper is actually a printed full sheet of paper, and there's like 4 of them stapled together. So whenever she gives her marks, she's reading it, takes the 7 to 8 seconds, flip around, keeps reading, loses her spot during it, has non sequiturs, skips paragraphs, she must. But she's been through some shit in her life, I know, because like she's very, I don't know, she's kind of a downer in the speeches. So much so that at this one she was like, well, my director said not to be too negative this one, so don't worry, I'll have some positive. But I've heard her give a speech once that started with, I was a victim of assault before, and like that's how she starts. I'm like, wow, that's a great way to really get the energy going for this fundraising. And I get the idea. So she's been through a lot of shit. But someone's got to be in her camp to be like, that's not how you give a speech. Because this one was like, hey, guys, just so you know, I'm going to lead off with this. Fundraising is down $200,000. But don't worry, there will be positive. And the positive is we're only down $182,000 because of donors like you. It's like, what the fuck? Somebody needs to figure this out for this poor girl. Like,
So
she just doesn't need to be in that position.
She works for, or what is her deal?
She works for something like that. That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I really feel bad about blowing her up, but
it is what it is. Like, you're not. It's the other solution is don't public speak. Like, I get you have something to say, but learn how to say it. That matters. Like, how you conduct yourself, especially in that manner. And okay, you've been through some shit. That's fine. However, don't forget that the thing about if you have a rough backstory, the idea is that if you are going to take a platform is that you inspire people, because it's not, that doesn't make
Right.
you, and you overcome it. If you go up there and can't deliver, it's like, oh God, I'm gonna turn into her, and she's still a mess. Like, it sounds rude, but like that's what public speaking is supposed to be. You're supposed to be like, look at my demeanor despite what I've dealt with. She's like the before pick, and we're looking for the after pick, for lack of a better term. And it's like, so, especially with fundraising, I mean, that is an art in itself of getting someone's buy-in to fundraising, right? If you're going to be like, wah, 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 with everything you say, and you read it, because reading is the nightmare, man. I deal with that a lot in my job, and we have guidelines to teach, and this is just speaking in generalities of public speaking. We have guidelines to teach, and there's written out guides so that you can jump right into it and really can go from there. But if you don't put tone and voice inflection on what you read, it is the worst thing in the world to hear someone read. It is terrible. I hate hearing someone else read something if they don't know how to read out loud. You are not reading to yourself, where you can just process. People that just read sentences like monotone or like have the same voice inflection on everything, it drives me fucking insane. I'm probably way more angry than I should be about it, but yeah. In conclusion, you're right. Yes, she does need a speaking coach, because knock it off.
Yes. That's the thing. She's not a bad girl. She's just in the wrong role. Or she needs coaching. That's all. But every time I've ever been, so it's this event that's supposed to be like, it's a soiree. It's supposed to be happy. Like, hey, thank you all for donating, everybody. Like, and we can do more. Listen, I've been through a lot. I was going to do this. But because of all people like you, I've come into this role and I've jumped into it and I found my passion in life, what I love to do. And it is to see people like you come together like this and raise money for the folks that need it in this community. Thank you so much. You know, that kind of shit. Yeah. Easy peasy. But no, somebody's not communicating to this girl and helping her out. And I've seen her 3 times, and every time it's the same thing. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. But yeah, vacation day on that. That was fun.
So yeah, a nice little vacation day on that.
Yeah. Speaking of, and this is coming from a guy that truly botched the beginning of this podcast, so I can say that. I can say that. Yeah. I'm in the same camp.
Words, not empathetic. It's sympathetic.
Yeah. And Friday was a golf tournament deal for another charity. Another guy who spoke like it. It's just people like involved in charity. Oh my God,
is this what you do? New job. All he does is go to charity events. He's a big wig.
Charity things with people who can't speak. There's another guy. I mean, I can't even get into it, but something happened at this golf event that is going to make me say negative things about people today on this show.
Perfect. Go on.
And I don't know that I want to jump right into that yet. Maybe let's start positive. We've already gone 12 minutes of negative. Let's start positive.
All right. Give it your best shot, I guess.
I can't think of anything.
There's nothing positive to talk about. Damn it. Even ray guns being investigated for like chaotic theories of like conspiracy in the Australian breakdancing world. No one is safe.
What?
Yeah,
hasn't she suffered enough?
There's all these like conspiracies that her husband like and her rigged this like the local organizations so that she had no competition and like wrongfully got into the Olympics and everything. And I'm like, oh my God.
I can see that.
But that's the best kind of news, because even if it's real or fake, I'm happy either way, because either it's real and that's a real chaotic concept, or it's fake and I just love that the internet is putting stuff like this together with no merit, just alleging that someone rigged. Because I don't know what's better, alleging someone rigged a Olympic breakdancing competition, or someone actually rigging an Olympic breakdancing competition. But either one makes me so happy, so I don't care. Poor Ray guy.
I know. I think I don't know. I feel like that's pretty easy investigation. we've seen the results.
It's just no one wants to put in the effort. No one cares to actually validate it. Everyone's like, nah, whatever.
It's like one of those. We got to have a dance off at the end to see who the real Olympic representative should have been. And it's like, I think we know how it's going to go. How about
the Olympics over? The Olympics are over, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been like, what do I do at night?
Was there closing ceremonies? Was that a thing? Not as popular.
There was. Tom Cruise did something because it's going to be in Hollywood. So I believe he either rappelled down something.
You're telling me that the closing ceremonies actually leave like a fucking season cliffhanger for 4 years from now? Like, is that normal?
They did,
they're like,
yeah.
Join us next time for Hollywood Olympics.
Olympiad, Los Angeles, Dead Reckoning, Part 2.
Olympics Impossible.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, better than the, well, I don't even care. The Olympic opening ceremonies were definitely triggering for some people. Which will lead me into my very negative energy that I have to
Perfect. Let's roll with it. But say it in a positive way.
Okay. Let's go negative. Okay. Well, so we're golfing. And it's like my dad's team, he put the team together, so I'm going along with it. And the other two are guys that worked in the prison system. They're fine guys. But then one of the guys, like, I don't know, on hole 14 or something like that, is like, you know what I saw the other day? Saw, like, looking around like everybody's going to think this is hilarious. And most people that he in his life probably do think it's hilarious. But it's like, saw a Trump 2024 flag that said Trump 2024, fuck your feelings. I just gave him the dead stare back. And I was like, I wanted to be like, you're so lame. It's so fucking lame. You think that's funny. And it's like, but here's the real problem with it, because I've been thinking about it. And two things. Number one, it's like, it goes along with the Let's Go Brandon. It's like that level of, oh, that's cool.
We
It
have
says,
secret
fuck your
code.
feelings on a flag. I know. Because we don't care about feelings anymore. But we should. That's the first problem. So I associate. This is why Donald Trump is a terrible human being and a terrible leader. This has nothing to do with politics or what his team is. But he's ushered in this era of feelings don't matter, and he supports it. I mean, other people probably ushered it in, and he's grabbed it. He's riding that horse. He's a proponent of it. He espouses it daily of fuck your feelings. And guess what? Now we have a country where people don't care about each other. And think about it at every level of humanity. What kind of relationship functions on not caring about other people's feelings? I mean, we're talking about like empathy and listening and caring about people as like a basic component of humanity, about how we move forward as a species, how we work together. And we're saying, fuck it. Don't care about it. We don't care about your feelings. Only facts, whatever that means. Facts, whatever facts are these days. But fuck your feelings. What kind of company runs that doesn't care about its people functionally? What kind of household? What kind of family can function when they don't care about each other and don't care about their feelings? None. And then you want to bring this to the most global stage possible and make it a tenet of who you are as a person? That's terrible leadership. That's short-sighted. It's selfish. It's petulant. And it's completely misguided about how to run anything in your life. Like whether it's the micro, the smallest thing, all the way to the largest thing. You can't function as a society without caring about other people's feelings. We need to understand how we all think about things, where it comes from, who we are, like the lives that we've led. It's like we say it all the time, like think about, life when you're in somebody else's shoes. And it's important. It's not just a thing. It's how we have to exist as a humanity if we don't want to destroy the world. And to actively pursue the opposite of that is an utter failure. And it's a complete loser mentality. And that's what it is. That's all I could think about in that moment when he said that. And secondly, people who say that are some of the most triggered people I've ever seen in the world. That's the ironic part of it. Like, the opening ceremony at the Olympics, they're making fun of Jesus. No, they're not. It's a Greek allegory. They're not talking about you. There's a gay kid in a book that my kid's reading. Okay, who cares? I mean, your feelings don't matter then. Who cares? We don't, getting triggered is like a hallmark of people say, fuck your feelings. And it happens all the time. The Little Mermaid's not black. Not My Little Mermaid. Who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter. Shut the fuck up. Like, your feelings are so fragile all the time. It's like, I don't know. I can go down like a whole thing about facts, not feelings. Like, if feelings, then you don't have a say in abortion. Because guess what? I know you feel like there's a heaven, and you feel like God put a little soul inside your body, but that's not a fact. So it has no bearing on the right to life argument. Okay? If you're going to go down that road. I know you feel like a shirt that has an American flag where the stripes turn into rifles is real cool, but it's not. You just feel that way. It's not a fact. Like, it just makes me utterly insane. But it's like, feelings are important. You know that. We all know that. It's so lame. And if you're triggered by this, you can't be. You can't be. You can't have feelings about it. Shut up. I don't care. These are my facts. And I don't care about your feelings. It's just like, it's such a goddamn stupid ass thing that doesn't make any sense and people chuckle at. And it's the ruin of our country and our species. And that's all. I guess that's my negativity. I don't there's my soapbox.
That's all I'm going to say. Wow, that's all. That's my biggest thing. Is I can
Shame on them.
like the general public is pretty fucking stupid. Both sides. So good news, everyone. In general, I don't give benefit of the doubt. I stopped that about 10 years ago. You have to prove to me that you're not a complete dum-dum. That being said, that's my biggest problem with it is what happened to just being like, you're allowed to just think whatever you think and want whatever you want for whatever benefits you and then be done with it. But you're right. It became this mentality of like, it's okay to be a piece of shit and you have a right to push your thoughts on everyone else. And right, the concept of fuck your feelings is the dumbest thing in the world because you have feelings. Like, it's weird of being like, I'm not offended by nothing. You are very offended by many things, and I bet I could get you offended within 20 seconds. Like, that's what you should have done, is you should have thrown out a bunch of liberal concepts and wait for him to get riled up and be like, hey, psst, come here, come real close. Fuck your feelings, idiot. And then, like, be like, ta-da, like, see how dumb you sound? Like, but what's amazing is that it's this... It really does bother me more coming from the baby boomer generation. It does. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it should or not, but those are the people that I like to push back on that much harder because I'm like, man, I'm like, you guys had a world that you grew up in that was pretty fucking great from our grandparents of like post-World War. Like that you grew up in a pretty solid situation where you could have like a single income family and, you know, kids going to college and stuff. And like now we have a world where like there is tougher situations on the general that people are facing. One is the hatred of people like you that they have to navigate, which you never really had to. Sorry, I should say that like for like white males, things like that, because obviously I'm not denouncing the plight of anyone of race or color, but it's just I'm tired of hearing too of like, well, I never got to blah blah blah, and it's like, can you just want better for the next person? Is that mind blowing that you have to play this pissing race? Like that's my thought on like I used to be like, well, you know what? I paid off my student loans, and so loan forgiveness, I'm not sure that that's a right thing. But I'm like, you know what? I'm like, it's okay for, like, I don't have to say, like, I had to do this, so why shouldn't you have to? It's okay for me to want someone to not have to deal with bullshit that I dealt with. I'm not saying I had a really hard life, but I'm just saying, in general, any negative thing I had to deal with, it's okay for me to go, you know what? That was not fun for me. Why don't you go ahead and we'll not give you that problem? Don't worry, there's plenty of problems on Earth that you will deal with, but I'm okay wishing you well for this. And there's a lot of that mentality of like, well, I had to do it, why shouldn't else someone? I'm like, because it sucked, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so what if we just avoid the sucky things? So I have gotten to this point. I will absolutely admit that I used to feel a lot different ways from different things. And unfortunately, that I think is the reason why I try having these discussions with people is because I've changed my opinion on a lot of stuff. I always attributed that to the concept of I figured people grow and adapt. And like we had said, I think recently is your different life experiences should change your opinion on things. Like you should be a ever-evolving person of not like, all right, once I hit 18, whatever these feelings are, that's what I'm running home with for the next 70 years. Like, no, it's your opinions change and stuff. So just to be in like that stage and be like, yeah, man, if you don't like what I like, fuck you. Like, good God. Like, I hope you and your buddies who hate all of the gays and stuff go home and just have these like weird erotic circle jerks where you just fucking like tell each other all of these stupid, horrible fucking things, and you are all like, man, we are the kings of the fucking world. Like, and then I really wish bad things upon you. Like, I'm not above that. So I wish everyone got along, but if the people that are pieces of shit, I have no humanity towards them. I really don't. And it's probably even like a hypocrite in some matters, but like
you're going against the argument.
no, but it's just like, can you just fucking stop? What I guess it always boils down to is that why does it, how do I put this? Why is it that you need everyone's life and surroundings and guidelines to be the exact same as yours? Why does that matter to you? Ooh, if it's not affecting you, why do you care? You don't matter. And I mean this in the nicest ways. Like, you are not there. They are not they're a part of what you experience. But if what they're doing doesn't negatively affect you, then that's where it ends. Your reign over them ends there. It doesn't negatively affect you. So, like, just stop being a piece of shit. And I feel like I want to start being more vocal about that. I'm just going to start, like, really fucking being aggressive with people on that. Just to put them in their spot and be like, let's see how this goes. Not with things like, see, and that's the problem too, because then I have the thought of like, well, no one wants to engage in a conversation or like any like type of like, no one wants to defend themselves with words today, right? So my problem is if I go up and try to put someone in their spot, they'll probably stab or shoot me because it's like, nervous, I don't know what to do, violence. So I don't know, man. But no, this is going to be a great podcast, man. I'm really riled up. I'm in a negative mood. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about like abortion, or you want to talk about murder? We could talk about.
Yes, let's do murder. No, okay.
Okay.
It's very hard to like. That's why I don't really have political conversations anymore. I just have conceptual, philosophical, because I know what my values are as a person, or I think I do. They change, but it's like I do care. I like to see the world as like an overall, you know, almost like it's like one planet of a bunch of different types of people, you know, that all have their own concerns about their own family and well-being and wanting to live a good life before they die, you know, without there possibly being a heaven, just to like live well the best that they can, and that we can all help each other out. And we have a lot of resources that we could all put together and help each other out. But instead we just kill each other over those resources. And that's very negative to me. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of taking something for everybody and one person having it all. And, or the idea of exclusionary, of making people feel like they're not included in this planet. You know, I like when people can feel included and we can boost each other up and we can feel good from day to day, because those days are limited and we don't get a lot of them. And someday we're all going to be at the end of them. And it would suck to look back and think, wow, that could have been a shitty life for me or for somebody else. And it could have been better if I would have just cared a little more about people around me. Because that would be the worst thing for me, to end up at that spot and to think like, if I would have cared about people more, I could have lived a more fruitful life. And I can't imagine getting to that. That's an utter hell, I think. But a lot of what I think about comes down to that. And I like to, and I think honestly a lot of us do share that. So all of us folks got to get together. Everybody here needs to resonate with this message and smash that like button, you guys. Come on, we gotta start this army. We gotta start this strangely familiar army who really needs your likes and subscriptions. We really gotta get this thing going. Really gotta get this message out there. Really, come on, guys. Come on.
It's strange.
Really,
Bam.
Yeah, we need this together. All of us. We'll all profit. It'll be okay. So, I don't know. Sometimes I'm in a mood. Like it does. It's probably because it's election season. And everything is like, because the news is always on at the gym, like CNN and Fox. So I just read the headlines on both and you can just see them. And it's like, this has got to be over. I can't. We're not a functional society.
No.
We need to figure out a way to care more. about each other.
It
and
amazes
have
me.
It resonate.
It amazes me when I think about it. I'm like, how did the world pull out of like, how did we actually have World War II? How did we end a war and then like become really prosperous after? I'm like, that's impressive. Like, props to the world of the 40s for like being able to go through something and then somehow stop it and then somehow prosper after it. Like, I almost feel like, oh boy, I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm just saying this as like a projective. It's like, until we have a drastic event, I don't think this gets better. I think this gets worse before it gets better.
Well, we've had some pretty drastic ones in our lifetime, don't you think? Like 9/11.
Right. And U.S., in general, the U.S. after that was pretty bound together.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing brings people together like a fucking blanket tragedy.
Yeah.
So like, but that's what I'm saying is like, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
we've had Katrina. We've had ray gun. We've been through a lot.
We had Katrina. Fast forward to Reagan. Yeah, but like,
we could say we've had that in one life.
It's fleeting. We can have a good week, and then it's back to like, all right, focus up. Let's get back to pissing each other off. I don't know.
You know what people really need to do is not respond to the internet. Like, if you ever go on Twitter or whatever and see, like, everything's just bot farmed and it's fake and it's just trying to get you to react. And
especially with AI now,
people are reacting to that. They're so dumb. So dumb. Like, you can't respond to it. Like, who are you responding to? You're not talking to anybody. It doesn't make, like, you're just getting angry. And
well, no, they do it solely
it.
so that you'll share it, right? That's all it is.
I know. Yeah.
We should not be allowed to share things. You should only be able to originally post. How mind-blowing would that fucking be?
Original content.
If you could not share any content, you had to originally post it. Like, you could direct message or something to someone, but like for you to just share something that you saw, that'd be fantastic if we could just rule that out. And it's like, no, you can say the same thing, but you'd actually have to type it out yourself and assert that.
We all have to exercise what's known in the business as click discipline. Just don't click on shit. Know what your feelings are, too. Like, look inward, okay? Know who you are. Know what your values are. Be a good person. And then go from there. Because then...
someone's going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Wow.
That's how it goes.
Wow. Speaking of Nick Cage has been casted to play John Madden in an upcoming biopic.
Really?
Yes, Nicolas Cage. It was announced
gain the weight?
Thursday, I think. I don't think he's going to go like Russell Crowe on this bitch, but probably some sort of suit. I don't know how I feel about that because I think the obvious concept is you don't cast him for John Madden. You cast him for Al Davis. Nick Cage kind of looks like Al Davis. Like, that would have been a
haircut.
Really easy transition. Grease the hair back with the widow's peak, throw on some sunglasses and a Raiders like starter jacket. Boom, you have Al Davis.
Dude, let me pull up one of these. This is if anybody doesn't know Al Davis here, I'm gonna share it. This is actually spot on. Look at this.
Yeah. Longtime owner of the... Come on, folks. Longtime owner, president of the Oakland and
There
LA
they are
Raiders.
together.
I mean, it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
He's gonna get that voice down though, the patter, and you're running down here and pow.
But I have a feeling like it's gonna come off like it's gonna come off with like an accent or something. I feel like he's gonna mess it up, and it's gonna have like some sort of accent to it instead of just like a type of movie. Like, it's gonna come off as like an old man Cameron Poe. Like it's just gonna like.
Boom. Tough-actin Tinactin. or that shit, whatever, the foot powder that he used to advertise.
It was.
Boom.
It was
Tough-actin Tinactin. Yeah.
Tough-actin Tinactin. Get rid of it.
Boom. Tough-actin Tinactin. I hope we get a lot of that.
But I don't know. I'm looking.
Let's go. I'm bored. Let's go.
You know what I thought today too?
What?
Because I was feeling particularly negative about the world
Jesus
and that it
Christ.
might go south. Not really. I mean, I just had
Well, you brought me
feeling.
down. The good thing is it's only the start of the day, so I can be down for like another 13, 14 hours.
Well, this is where we rally. Because from the depths of the podcast, picked up the conversation dice.
Wow.
I was like, we're going to need to go back old school. You know, when we were just fresh-faced little
Kicking it old
podcast
school.
assholes just out
A
here.
a
We didn't
lot
care
of
about
you-
the money.
A lot of you newer listeners are like, what's the conversation dice? What?
Yeah. This is when we didn't even know what we were doing. When
I was
we didn't know
I
how
was
to
just
start
going
an
to say, this is
episode.
before we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
So we would roll these dice that have words on them. And from those words, we would try to think of a story to share with each other. 'Cause conceptually, this is a podcast about two old friends trying to reconnect. Welcome to episode 82. Did we already do the theme music? Man. But we would just, try to trigger a story. Sorry, I didn't mean to say trigger. So I'll pick out 3 words, and hopefully it'll get us going. Live. We're doing it now. We're not even planning it, you guys. This is ad hoc. So word number 1, natural. Word number 2, pros and cons. That was the first one. I was going to switch it because I didn't like that, but oh well. Word number 3, movement. That's kind of go together. Natural movement, pros and cons. Here's one. I'm a little sore today, but I've been trying something that supposedly is supposed to be like for help you out health-wise. So I have this pull-up bar like on my door, and I'll use it from time to time. I think I'm up to like, I can knock out 5 pull-ups here and there. But I was reading the other day about one exercise that's good is to just hang from it. Hang from it for as long as you can. Just stretched out arms. Do it. Hold. Oh, yeah, I can feel it now. Ooh, yeah, look at those pit stains. They're not stains. They're wet. They won't stain, don't worry.
In my defense, this is just ongoing pitting, not pit stains.
Yeah. It's morning sweat. But you just do that. Just hang. And, God, I can almost feel it right now. But it's, like, supposed to, like, help with, the neck, the shoulders, the
It's
posture
decompression.
stuff that we deal with every day. And it's been pretty effective. I'm a little sore from doing it today. But I work at a desk now all day. And it's been a challenge, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I've got, like, an adapted one that I can stand with it. So I basically stand for most of the day, which is good. But I'm wondering, and maybe I'll get your opinion on this in terms of pros and cons of movement. I'm thinking, and have you ever thought about this for your situation, of investing? Because once I move to my new office at the store, right now I'm just in a training, I'm recruiting, so I'm doing a lot of phone calls, a lot of phone interviews, which we can dabble in that for a second, but it's such a sedentary job. I mean, once I get to the store and I'm in the HR role, I'll get to walk around the store. I'll get my steps in. But I'm like, should I get one of those little desk treadmills in my life? So I can be doing the stand and then walking at the same time just to burn those calories, Have you ever thought about it? 'Cause how do you balance your day with like having a lot of desk work?
I mean, I try to walk in the mornings before I start work. So go out, just because it's been hot and stuff, and I have been really bad with my running, and I'm hoping to get back into it once the fucking temperatures go back down. But I walk a lot. I try to walk in the mornings, do a couple miles. Sometimes I walk by myself. Sometimes Caitlin walks with me. But I try to get a couple miles in the mornings before I start working. Yeah, I mean, it's a bummer. Like, trying to work while walking, though, also seems to be a difficult concept. The way my monitors are set up and such, like, I'd need to get another desk.
Definitely eat shit at some point.
Huh?
You definitely eat shit at some point.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I can't really do it. I couldn't really walk while I was teaching, but obviously for the times that I'm not teaching, I don't think I could do it. See, that's the tough part is I don't know how I could do it and, like, type out to people and stuff like that. I don't know how people are walking while doing their work. I don't. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if I'm watching a movie or something, like, where I don't have to think about typing something, but multitasking while walking, I don't know. It just seems like it's a tough concept, but I'd need a new desk. And I have an L-shaped desk because I have a lot going on. I have this laptop set up and all my work stuff. I have a laptop and multiple screens and yada yada. I probably could do a new desk, but yeah, I mean, I know people that have walking pads. They seem to enjoy it. I don't know how long they employ it. But sure. I mean, I'm for it, I guess. Good. I just don't know how well. Yeah. Turns out I'm for movement.
Yes, positive.
Like,
positive energy. Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I feel really good about
it's
that.
such a difference for me because I mean, for the last decade, I've been like pretty much always had a job where I stand and walk around and do stuff. So being back in the office has been a bigger change than I thought it would be. Just trying to get used to it. So I like take laps around the building now. I'll be like, hey, I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. I gotta take a couple laps, and I do. It's very strange. Yeah.
No, that's what you just tell people. Big, I'm going to get up and walk around. I tell people that working in a remote world, I tell people that all the time, even when I was in the office and stuff. And I'm like, oh, did you have a bad phone call or something? I'm like, go walk around for 5 minutes. I'm like, just move your body. Like, that's probably don't give myself enough of that. But like, that's why I get up and go downstairs and get a glass of water, come back up. I probably move more than I think I do. I don't sit for like an hour straight. That honest to God, unless I'm teaching, I don't think I'm ever sitting for an hour straight. I'm probably getting up every 15-20 minutes because I like to make sure I drink a lot of water, which in turn gives you bathroom breaks, which in turn, like, I try to do stuff around the house mildly, I'll get up, take a break and, wash some dishes or change over the laundry, stuff like that. So I'm traversing up and down the stairs all day. Probably do about, if I had to guess, 15 to 20 flights up and down per day. And just try to do stuff because, yeah, working at home, it definitely has its cons, if you will. The pros are you can get small, stupid stuff in your life down. But the cons are, one, sedentary concept, because I even walked more when I worked at the office because I'd get up and just take laps and whatever. And then, of course, social isolation. No matter how much you're on camera with people, you are still sitting in your house by yourself.
Yeah, my buddy who lives in Austin has been working with a tech company for a long time, since pre-COVID. And I was just talking with him the other day, and he was like, I just go into the office now once a week. I don't have to, but it's just like the isolation just has been getting to me over the years. Like, it wasn't for a while, but he's like, and I guess I can get that. Yeah, I mean... No, but I mean, of course, yeah, it would happen. Like, as we were saying, you need people. You need people energy in your life. You can't do it without, You feel like you need people in your life.
One time, dude. One time I've met coworkers of mine in person. Once. And I've worked for the company for over 3 years.
Man. It is. It's like having an Xbox friend or something. Like, you ever see those, those reunions or whatever, they have them online, honestly, where people have been playing like Fortnite for 5 years together and they meet in public like somebody makes it happen and they just like freak out and cry because it's like they're just like, oh my god, you're a real person. Yeah.
Right, because it literally seems fake. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really weird. It's really, really weird. You know, they always say, like, do you have a work best friend and stuff like that? And it's weird because I'm like, I got two guys, George and Trevor. George was my boss when I started, and then Trevor was one of my teammates. We've all now left that department and are doing our stuff, but we're literally like texting, and we have our own, you know, Teams chat that we're literally conversing every single day about everything under the sun, non-work related, sometimes work related. But like, it's wild because I've never met either one of these guys in person, but I've known them for 3 years. And it's like, we've chatted and like thrown side things about being like, yo, we should meet up because one's in Florida, one's in Pennsylvania, and I'm in New Jersey. So we don't like, we would have to like really plan an actual meeting, but we've talked about it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I kind of want to do this because these guys are people I interact with probably more than 99% of people in my life these days. And it's like, yet it's not in person. And that's a really weird concept. If you explain that to someone 20 years ago, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I was just talking to...
Like, yeah, it's like glorified, really fast pen paling.
I was talking to a friend who I brought to the United Way thing. Cause I was, you know, just talking about like friends, like who our friends are, you know, just like who do you hang out, like who are your friends, like who do you know them from, just like kind of getting to know them. And I was like, well, my friend, honestly, most of the people I hang out with in my life is over video. So it's like I've just accepted it. But then when I tell people it, it's kind, I don't know what the reaction's going to be, but it's more normalized now. But I'm like, yeah, probably my best friends from Texas. They live in North Carolina. So I'll like video chat with them sometimes, or like we'll watch a show. And then my other friend, he lives in Colorado, so we like game together. And my other friend lives in Philadelphia, so we once a week do a thing. It was like, those are my best friends in life. And I know. And
That's
like,
really interesting.
Because even
right?
like when we were hanging out, like at the charity thing, it was like people from work, my work, and it was like, I don't even know them as much as, or hang out with them as much as I do my video friends, which is, I've just come to know, I guess. It's just the way, because I was talking about, I mean, we've talked about it, but in Auburn, I mean, it's hard to make friends as an adult outside of like going to the bars. So you really got to like find whatever activity you like and hope you can like translate that into like common interests, stuff like that. So if you're into yoga, hopefully you find people from yoga that can be friends with, or into the arts or whatever. So I got to do a better job of that.
Well, we lost, neither one of us, we missed our opportunity, at least for right now. We have yet to implore an opportunity where a lot of people at this stage of the game, I have learned from interacting with my own friends of different degrees, is that people, it's almost like the next phase of the game was you meet people that your kids are friends with their kids, or you go to your kids' activities and stuff and they're on their sports teams and such. That's how you meet new adult friends in this stage of the game, is that I have friends being like, oh, we met them because their kid plays soccer with our kid, or their, you know, like stuff like that, or their kid's friends with our kid. So we met them because the kids wanted to hang out. And so we figured, all right, might as well meet these parents. And we got along. And you're like, damn it. There was the next step of how you meet adults.
It is true.
Instead of a little human, meet their little human. And then you meet by proxy.
That's the hack. That's why everybody's having kids, just so they can have friends.
Yeah. Oh, kids can meet kids at grade schools. That's why I'm not allowed to just go to grade schools.
It's just a slight detail I had wrong.
Oh, you have to have one of those. Yeah. Oh, you know, the cops do seem to be less involved when you
I'm
actually
a substitute
have a small
parent.
child.
I can be here. Yeah. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
For which one? Oh, whoever needs one. Oh, you're a bonus dad? Sure, we'll use that term. For whom?
Well,
I don't know who's looking.
What?
Any young kids who recently had a father pass away that I can
Any
sub
young
in?
child need a daddy?
Right. No, I'm not moving in on your mom. I just want to use you to meet
Yeah.
friends of my age. What? That's
Actually,
not
that's
cool?
basically
Come
Big
on,
Daddy.
man.
The plot of Big Daddy, kind of. Well, I was thinking that because somebody asked me, like they saw me at Wegmans couple of months ago, and well, my schedule wasn't what it is now, but they're like, hey, we can always use like coaches for like the Auburn Ice Hawks, like the hockey club that I played in growing up, and I was like, I'm not a certified coach. I don't know how to coach. He's like, it doesn't matter. We just need people. I was like, all right, I'll think about it. And now I'm like actually thinking about it because it would be fun to like be around kids. I just can't wait. Can't wait to get my hands on them and just really mold them into like just strong little men. And but I think it would be honestly like
All right. You're steering into the
cool
skid.
to like, especially in the winter, because the winter we know just blows around here, and that's when we get massively depressed. I say we because I mean strongly me, as it's the royal we and everybody about it. But it's neat because I started playing hockey again last year. We know. Check those back episodes, new listeners, for just tuned in right now. But it would be cool to like, honestly, to like coach, just like get involved that way, meet some other people, and I think I might try to do it actually, because then it's like I can be like the uncle coach. I'm not like the head coach, or I don't have a kid on the team, so I can just show up for whatever practices and games I'm available. But I'll always be there for the fun stuff. Like I'm not gonna be like the do laps coach. I'm gonna be like the hey, here's a puck, you guys all chase it, like that coach, the fun games. Hey, let's switch sticks with somebody who shoots the other way, like one of those guys. Or hey, let's try to catch each other in nets. I'm gonna skate around and try to get you in the net. So I'll be like that kind of coach who just brings the fun, never administrative. I don't even care if you're late. Not me, because I'm the cool coach. I'm not like a regular coach.
Yeah. You do not understand how little I give a shit about your actual work ethic.
Yeah.
I am not here for that.
But that would be one way to get involved. So I'm thinking about it because I need some. I'm slowly over the course of a few years mastering how to live in upstate New York, and it is a challenge. It's very hard because everybody. I mean, everybody's talking about football right now. Drafts, Sundays, which I love, except the problem means summer's ending. And it's happened so fast. It's already happening. And soon it's going to be dark at 4:30 again. And your boy's just not ready for that. This is as tan as I've gotten all summer. It's not very good.
Can it just be
That wouldn't be
permanently fall?
Yeah.
Fall or spring? Yeah. That's all I want. All I want is for the entire
Completely, yeah.
weather system to change. Is that so much to ask?
I can think of something positive. Anything good that you've done in your life lately that you feel good about? I had a moment at the laundromat recently. Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
But that's why they have the pinball machine in town, is at this laundromat, the Colonial Laundromat. So I'll go there and do my laundry. And usually, as it's washing, the 25-minute wash, that's enough to get a few games in on the Godzilla machine that's there now. But damn it all, if I wasn't just having myself a run at that table. I put in, number one, it's dirt cheap. $2 gets you 3 credits, which is as cheap as pinball can get. It's a pretty new machine. So I'm like, let me get these 3 credits in. It'll probably take me 20 minutes. But I was just unstoppable. And my first game, I think I won a free game for getting the score. And then the second one I did. So I ended up having like 5 games to be able to play. And those $2. And my wash was done. Because I was pinballing so hard. But I was like, I think that's it. And so I saw this little girl just sitting patiently with her mother. She's being very polite. Because a lot of times there's just kids running around. They're like little assholes, obviously. Parents don't give a shit. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
For all you little kid listeners out there,
Get
fuck
triggered.
you. Fuck your feelings.
She was being so polite. So I was like, hey. So, because when I dry, I leave. I'm like, I'm not going to sit around for 45, 50 minutes. So I was like, hey, there's like $2 in this machine. If you want to go play some pinball, just go over there, grab a chair, and you can play. So she was like, I was like, if it's okay with your mom. She's like, yeah, go play. And she was like, she was really excited. And then she went to go play. And I was like, maybe in some way, I just created a little redhead pinball stepchild. And she's going to grow up to be a little savant. Maybe I changed her life. But it was like,
You don't call a pinball savant.
I can't
There's
even
a term
think of
you
anything.
Use
Some kind of
the term.
magician, a pinball
If
magician,
someone's good at pinball,
a sorcerer. Yeah.
this is pinball sorcerer, I believe.
But it just felt really good to give back to the sport that's given so much to me. So I was like,
I don't know why I had to laugh, but I just couldn't. Yeah, man, like that's I do like being able to do that because I like my video games, and every once in a while I'll go to like a Dave and Buster's, and I know that it's not the same as like what arcades were when we grew up, right? Arcades were mostly standing machines. You played a game or whatever. Very few ticket machines. Dave and Buster's now is either ticket driven or just massive like interactive stuff. But I'll go to Dave and Buster's and I'll play games and stuff, and it's always nice to be able to like give like tickets or a power card to a kid as you're leaving. Be like, hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but there's like 600 tickets on there, and
Yes.
you'd swear you gave that kid $1 million. They're like, what the? Who is this random person that
be
just
the
blessed
richest
me with
man.
more tickets? Especially if they're near the ticket counter and they're like ready to cash in, and you're like, oh, you wanted that Chinese finger trap? How about 6 of them? And you're like, bestow your tickets on them. Because, yeah, I mean, I do like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's, you know, you feel good helping out adults, but you feel really good helping out kids because you're like, hey, remember, don't be a piece of shit. You're still learning, like, don't, you could do this too, because it doesn't matter, like, this was not any sacrifice on my part, but I could make your day better. Like, those are like the big wins when you're like, the swing is that much bigger one way than the other, because you're like, I literally felt like I sacrificed to nothing, and this kid felt like I gave him everything under the sun. Like, that's always a good win. It's even better too when the parents are really appreciative and receptive to the interaction too. Like you said, like it'd be like you'd be deflated if the parent was like, oh, yeah, she doesn't play pinball. Like you'd be like, fuck, like. That would bother you probably, and you'd be like, how the fuck did me giving away pinball games backfire? But thanks, Mom, you nailed it. Like,
those are
so
demon
it
games.
is nice when the parents are also very receptive, and you're like, ooh, you're probably raising a good kid. Like when the parents like, wow, what do we say? Thank you. Oh, man, that was so nice. Like you're like, oh, this parent's doing a good job. You're like, so that makes you happy too.
And it's really light lifting,
Yeah,
like
I
you
mean-
said. I think as we use this little therapy session to get through the negativity, coming to the end here, I think the important thing we learn is that it's like small acts. And, you know, it's a lot of like anxiety stuff too. Like when going through that is like, what can you do for other people that kind of keeps you out of that cycle? Like just small things, like being an act of service for somebody, whatever size it is, whatever little bit it is. I mean, it's stupid stuff. I mean, but again, it's like light lifting, easy things for us to do that mean a lot to other people. And we can all do it in our daily lives. So as we're listening to this and getting through this, it's a good time to reset. You know what? And not carry the negativity, but think, consider, like maybe today I can try to do something positive for somebody. Do something meaningful. Harness energy, block bad. You know, as we say in the world of golf. You know? Yeah.
Is that Kevin Nealon?
So
Harvest, energy, block, bad.
Doing the bull dance, feeling the flow.
but I think that is. I mean,
Working it.
we just went through a whole cycle of thoughts and feelings that mattered to us in this moment. But I appreciate you saying, hearing that. It's like, remember that it's not too hard. Not too hard to make somebody's day in little ways. But it doesn't have to be huge. It just makes somebody's day easier. You know what? Like, here's one. Like, when I buy And like if I buy some non-alcoholic booze at the gas station near me, it's always these teenagers working there, and they always ask me my birthday, even though there's no alcohol in it. And I could be an asshole because people would do that at Wegmans, be like, "It's not alcohol," and I'd be like, but instead, you know what I say? I say 325.83, and it's super easy for them. And I just make it a lot easier.
Right.
It's little things. Just like I don't know why I thought about that, but yeah.
Question though, do you? I think you have to be
That could be,
21
yeah.
to buy non-alcoholic beer.
That might
don't you?
be. Don't take away my glory.
But yes, you are right.
But
It
yeah.
100% is opening up the door. Opening up the door for a recent sober drinker to go like, I don't need to get my fucking birthday because
Just
this
like
isn't real
whatever
alcohol.
I can do to make
And
this
just
easy
like,
for you. That's all I'm gonna do. Like I don't care. It didn't again, no sweat off my back. Just little things that we can
Right.
do. So consider that, friends, today in your day. If you've made it through this, if you made it through the spiral of feelings that do matter, remember they matter to everybody.
Yeah, it's early in the day, and I've already.
We still have
had
time to
an
go to
emotional
brunch
roller
and
coaster
church.
thanks to this show.
So still have a lot to accomplish today.
The Mormon. Brought to you by the Church of
That's
Jesus
right.
Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, speaking of our super producer, Steve, I just want to let you know if you're listening that yesterday, it was Saturday, and I thought about texting you to see if you wanted to hang out. I didn't, but I thought about it. So get out of here. Shut up.
Steve and I we had a fantasy draft yesterday, and he was working. So
Cool. Well, I just needed him to know that he's that
he
much
was
higher.
working.
Yeah. He's like,
But yeah, that's pretty good.
I thought about it. I thought about people that I could potentially hang out with.
That was a
Because he had asked me to
consideration.
go to like a comedy show or something a few weeks ago, and I couldn't that
person.
night. And he's like, or I could just not text you to hang out. And I was like, no, do it. I need to go out. So if you have something else, let me know. I was like, then I thought, Steve, I did think about it. So you're
Accept
in my
the
thoughts
pressure.
and prayers.
Dude, you know what the next step to thinking
know.
about it is then doing. It's
One of
like,
these days, one of these
Yeah,
years,
that's baby
Steve.
steps.
We're gonna.
oh man, it's gonna blow your mind. Hey man, what's up? You're gonna get that magical text. Hey man, you
guessing
busy?
Wednesday at noon. I'm gonna get a message whenever you listen. What are you doing tonight? No, let's
Yeah.
hang out, Steve. Come on.
Yep.
Jeez, it's like you never text me anymore. I mean, I know I say no every time, but still. I was at your birthday party. Come on.
Right?
Let's not wait till next birthday, all right? Let's do your half birthday. Yeah,
I love
guess.
how this is blaming
I
him.
need to let him know. Yeah.
This turned into you triumphantly being gracious for his like existence and stuff. Into you bum. Why aren't you texting me more?
And after the
Very
negativity into the positive spin, let's never forget that I occasionally am a piece of shit. It's just part of my charm.
Right.
That's what I do.
Yeah, we know. We
All
know.
right. All right,
I
do
guess.
something positive, folks, this week. What?
Hey, question. Oh, I was gonna think that next show we could try coming up with some stuff. I was thinking of doing our own like Mount Rushmores of topics of an absurd amount of topics of anything, and
Rushmore?
I could post on the socials and just try to gather topics from people.
All right.
Of Mount Rushmores. We can Mount Rushmore anything. And I'm going to post on socials and see if people will give me suggestions. And we have to go off of any suggestions.
I think
that
we
they
should
go
do a Mount Rushmore of presidents'
because
faces.
beggars cannot be choosers. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, let's
That's
do it.
good. I like that.
That would give us something to look forward to. And that's what we all need.
Correct.
in our
and
lives.
That's a positive.
All right, yeah. Or post them. Yeah, if you're listening, put them in the Spotify comments or the YouTube comments. Give us some options, some Mount Rushmores. Maybe we'll have a few prepped and maybe a few that we'll do on the spot. Or not. Who knows? Maybe it'll just be time to record again and we'll just wing it. That could happen. It do happen. All right. Live well, friends. Care about each other. Do things. Do stuff and things. Enjoy your summer.
You've been
I know.
wrapping this up
we
for
ready?
like 6 minutes now. Just play the music.
Catches would be more